Electric cars all drive the same. That's what many car guys, and myself included, have been crying out, arguing that yes, they're fast, but they're boring, silent, and soulless. But what if it isn't a generic silent box on wheels? What if it's got striking charisma and class-leading technology and handles like a true sports car, but it's electric? Would you give it a chance? I feel like there's a lot more to explore before deeming it as mundane because of its electrified nature. Today is the breaking point for me, an experience that will completely change my perception of battery-powered vehicles. You find me on a beautiful Lebanese mountain pass on a warm November day, slithering through corners in complete silence. Silence is the key word for today. You see, Audi's latest sports car doesn't have a twin-turbo V8 at the front, nor a loud, screaming V10 behind my seat. In fact, the loudest thing inside this car is the sound system and the screaming of the passengers the first time they experience the rapid acceleration. Okay, I was Audi offers two models for the e-tron GT, the e-tron GT Quattro and the RS e-tron GT. It has a usable battery capacity of 83.7 kilowatt hours. It makes around 476 PS most of the time, but during launch control, it has 530 PS. And then speaking of launch control, brakes, mash the brakes and the throttle, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. And that's 100. Oof, that was pretty damn quick. The name GT or Grand Tourer suggests it's a spacious and comfortable car to do long kilometers in, 500 to be precise on a single charge. Realistically, this figure drops to around 400 kilometers depending on the weather and road conditions and how many times you decide to do launch control on your way home. The car I'm driving today is finished in the new tactical green paint, very much your spec I would say, not too in your face but definitely showy. Inside, you'll find a lovely brown interior with Audi's latest infotainment system and an overall minimalist layout, and I'm so happy they kept physical buttons for the climate control. Alright, so briefly taking a look at the exterior of this car, I'll have to say I'm a huge fan of it, especially in this spec. This tactical green is one of the best specs you can get on the e-tron GT. Now you can see the grille is body colored, by the way. You can get it in Heckler grey, but I mean, I do really think this looks nice. We have $6,000 matrix lights on this car. There's laser lights, so we have these blue accents, as you can see, and then a grille down at the bottom. I love this air curtain that you get throughout the wheels, and the wheels as well are $6,000. Can we take a second to appreciate the haunches on the e-tron GT? The design is superb, honestly. I really appreciate its looks much more than the Taycan, honestly, especially towards the back. We have the beautiful daytime running lights in the back. They do have these light show that Audi's famous for. And down at the bottom, we have these black accents, again, contrasting beautifully with the black badges that we have on this car. Audi gives you the option of choosing a leather-free interior, which uses artificial leather, Dinamica microfiber material, and recycled nylon from old fishing nets. You could go for the $7,000 Dynamic Package Plus that adds a lot of goodies, including all-wheel steering, e-tron sport sound, rear differential lock, and adaptive air suspension. Quattro means it's all-wheel drive, but it's a bit different on the e-tron GT. The electric all-wheel drive system is 5 times faster than the mechanical system that we're used to. We have 3 driving modes in the e-tron GT: efficiency, comfort, and dynamic. Now, efficiency makes the car front-wheel drive biased, comfort sends the power 50-50 to the front and rear, and dynamic is where things get exciting. Power is sent to the rear wheels, and you get an instant amount of power, instant amount of torque on the go, which is very felt in this car. But I mean, I would argue handling is superb, honestly. What's fascinating during braking is that when you press on the brake pedal, the deceleration is to the electric motors, unless you brake very hard, as I did now. It's mainly to the electric motors. Now, since we stopped, we have to do launch control, mash the brakes and the throttle. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Whoa! You see, you're never actually using your brakes unless you brake very heavily. So for everyday cruising, you're almost always recuperating energy when removing your foot off the accelerator. In practice, however, it's a bit different. The rocker switches behind the wheel aren't as efficient as I anticipated, and I recommend you take the optional carbon ceramics. They're much needed. Now, I admit, I was wrong. I used to say that electric vehicles all drive the same, but I mean, jumping in the e-tron GT Quattro and just changes my whole perception of these EV or battery-powered vehicles, because it just handles amazing. I haven't driven any electric vehicle that handles superbly as this. I mean, that steering response is too good, and the way it goes into corners planted, it's obviously very quick, but I mean, you feel confident behind the wheel of this car. You can thrash it the way you want it. Now, obviously, it can slip a bit because of that instant torque, and you have to be careful while driving this car. But I mean, going into corners, wow, splendid, splendid. Getting out of it is just beautiful. I did not expect that. Obviously it's a Grand Tour, GT Grand Tour, so yeah, it is a very comfortable vehicle, but I mean, it handles amazingly well. I'm very positively impressed. Power delivery is excellent, and never would I have thought an electric car could sound this good. The e-tron Sport sound is a must. Regardless of whether you love a good old rumbly V8, because let's be honest, we all do, it should have nothing to do with giving the e-tron GT the love and respect it deserves, because in simplified terms, it's charismatic, filled with Audi's latest technology, handles superbly well, and is electric.